Hello. How many questions do you get asked on a daily basis? I can't even count how many questions I get asked, but a lot of them I mindlessly answer. I don't take much time and think, well, what does this decision mean and what will it cost me later on? One of the biggest decisions I think get asked a lot is paper or plastic. I know I've been asked that question numerous times every time I go to the store. And I mean, in the past I have chose plastic. It is easier to carry, and the more I think about it, and after taking this ethics course, I begin to look at questions differently. I look at how that it not only affects me, but it can affect other people, the environment. So this question took on a whole new meaning to me. Now, I ask you, do you choose paper or plastic? I've decided to choose paper. After a lot of research, it shows that plastic takes millions of barrels of oil just to create. So if we already use our oil for a number of things in the United States, so if we run out of that, we have to rely on foreign oil sources, and that's just not being responsible with our resources. We need those resources to last not only now, but for years to come, for our children, their children, grandchildren, all of the above. As I said, taking this course, I view questions a lot differently, and you're probably wondering, how is paper versus plastic an ethical problem? The reason it becomes an ethical problem is because we have a moral obligation to the environment we live in. That obligation is for us to sustain our environment, take care of the animals that live in it, and make sure that it's livable not only for them but for us. And because this has become a problem, paper is the more ethically responsible choice. When you have to make plastic products of any kind, they're often done in a factory that omits a lot of toxins into the air, and there are recent laws that have really been cracking down on that, Clean Air Act and things of that nature. That just protects the environment because these toxins go into the air and then they spread not just around the factory, but they spread into other cities, other countries, and then people can get sick from these. There's been an increase in smog, which is just a combination of all these gross chemicals in the air, and people are having asthma problems and just a lot of problems that didn't exist before. The reason I say paper is better, there aren't as many toxins involved in making paper because it is derived from trees and wood and other paper that's recycled. The biggest argument you'll see in the debate between paper and plastic is the cost. It is much cheaper to make a plastic bag than a paper bag. But oftentimes you have to use double bags. They rip, they're just not as sturdy as paper. So that's one of the arguments against the cost argument. It might be cheaper, but to be an ethically responsible business, you need to be conscious of the fact that those plastic bags end up in landfills. They end up on land hurting animals, they end up in the sea and animals get trapped in them, and it's just not the ethically responsible choice. It is our moral obligation to make sure that we protect the animals because they were here and they live on the land and they don't need foreign objects like paper, like plastic bags, choking them or them trying to eat it. Some of the reasons I chose paper is because now I am more ethically conscious of my decisions. I don't look at any question the same anymore. I evaluate who will it hurt, and I try to base my decision making on what decision will hurt the least amount of people and animals. In this case, paper is the one that would hurt the least amount of people. It uses less of our natural resources, it's recyclable, it's easy to turn other paper products and reuse them, so you can reuse them, recycle them. I also choose paper because I want my daughter to grow up and have a nice environment to live in. I don't want it to be cluttered with plastic products. I want her to be aware, just as I am aware, of what decisions you make and how they can affect the future. So my daughter is the future, and if anybody else has children, that is our future. So we need to keep that in mind when we make any decision. So for me, paper is the right choice, and I hope you think more in depth about what choice you would make next time you're at the store. Thank you.